Welcome to the deep dive. We've got a really remarkable source in front of us today. It's a transcript from a YouTube video featuring an elder, Edna Manitowabi. She's sharing some, well, just incredible wisdom.
Yeah, rooted in indigenous perspectives on nature, connection, medicine. It's quite something.
It really is.
It's like a deep well of knowledge, really invites us to perhaps reconsider how we view the living world around us.
So our mission for this deep dive then is what? To sort of pull out the core ideas?
Exactly. The key insights, maybe some surprising takeaways, and the practical wisdom from this perspective on our relationship with the natural world.
Okay, because there's so much packed in here. Just hinting at what's coming for you listening, we're going to explore seeing plants not just as, like, resources.
But as family.
Yes, as family. And the earth itself is this profoundly connected living being.
And the stories tied to the land, powerful stuff.
Yeah, ancient teachings. Let's unpack this together.
All right. Let's start right at the foundation, maybe. This idea presented in the source. Earth as family, demanding, deep connection and respect.
Right. The elder describes the earth not just as a place we live on, but as a living being.
Actively communicating with us.
If only we knew how to listen, yeah.
And she gives this image, doesn't she, about the moon?
Oh, that really sticks with you.
Yeah.
The source describes the moon as a grandmother.
Working directly with the earth, who's seen as her daughter.
Wow. And this grandmother moon is powerful, controlling the waters, the tides.
Ensuring life continues. It's a beautiful picture of celestial kinship, isn't it? Constant care.
So what's the core insight that flows from that view?
Well, I think it's the belief that everything in creation has a purpose. Every single thing.
Okay.
And this perspective means we have a responsibility to be mindful, to really get to know the earth because she is this dynamic, communicating entity.
And indigenous people of this continent, Turtle Island, as it's often called, historically maintained this deep connection. The source says they knew how to communicate with the earth.
And relied on her completely. Understood she was the source of sustenance, of life itself.
They've always known this interconnectedness.
Which stands in stark contrast, the source notes, to the history of, the settlers who came.
Right, the elder touches on that. The difficult relationship between men and women in Europe back then.
Even leading to the burning of midwives, herbalists, women healers.
And when they arrived here, they observed indigenous men treating women in a good way, it says, with profound respect.
And that respect for women is presented as being, intrinsically linked to respect for the land.
Yeah, the source makes that incredibly powerful statement. What you do to a woman, you do to the earth.
And by extension, what happens to the earth impacts all of humanity. We're part of her.
So this perspective really highlights a great need for healing. For restoring balance.
Definitely. And a key part of this earth is family idea is extending that kinship to the plants themselves.
Right. Trees described as grandfathers.
And medicinal plants as grandmothers.
It boils down to that simple yet profound teaching. We are her children.
And this isn't just abstract philosophy, is it? The source gives that really vivid anecdote.
Oh yeah, the story of walking into the muskeg swamp at the kind of peat bog, right? Common up north.
Exactly. Well, gathering cedar.
So she recounts stepping into this wet, spongy ground.
Sinking deep, right up to the knees.
And as she walked further in, she felt this incredible surge of energy.
Rising up from the earth, yeah. Causing her belly to literally dance. That's the word she uses.
A moment of pure wonder, it sounds like. Deep physical connection.
And there, in that swamp, she describes meeting a particular plant.
Not just seeing it, meeting it.
Perceiving it as a person, a grandmother, a specific medicine.
For cervical cancer, wasn't it?
That's right. And what happened next is, incredibly moving. She felt this overwhelming sense of being welcomed.
Like a voice saying, "You are home. Welcome home, my girl. You're home."
It speaks to such a deep spiritual belonging, doesn't it? Like the land itself recognized and embraced her.
And she connects that feeling, that earth energy, back to a voice teacher.
Yeah, who saw the belly as a kind of swamp itself. The seat of deep internal energy, emotion, voice.
It's a powerful analogy. It shows how this perspective sees our internal, spiritual and emotional energy as deeply connected to the vital energy of the land.
Okay, so this profound philosophy of connection and respect, it naturally leads to certain sacred practices.
With reciprocity being absolutely central.
The source describes acknowledging the space you're entering. asking permission before taking anything.
Often through song or prayer, it mentions.
Right, and there's a clear teaching. You only take exactly what you need, no more.
And acknowledging the plant's sacrifice, too, like an apology for taking its life.
Yeah, and beyond asking permission and taking only what's needed, there's that crucial teaching about putting something back.
Always putting something back, especially with trees, planting seeds.
And this responsibility isn't framed as just for Indigenous people. It's for all people.
Because we all depend on Mother Earth.
We all have to participate in her care. It's a shared thing.
Okay, so shifting focus a bit to how the plants are actually used. The approach sounds very holistic.
It really is. Medicines aren't just for physical ailments. They're addressed for spiritual or mental needs, too.
So you communicate with the medicine, tell it where it needs to go.
Exactly. In the body or spirit, it links directly to healing the whole person, mind, body, spirit, all together.
And related to that is the vital role of communication itself.
Prayer. Talking to the plants. Even when you're just making tea, it says. It's essential.
Why? To establish that relationship, that family connection.
Precisely. Which is believed to make the medicine stronger because it sort of understands who it's helping and why.
There's another important teaching mentioned too about caring for the medicines afterwards.
Oh, right. You never just throw medicine away carelessly.
You always return it to the earth, like giving water back to a cedar tree you've used.
Or returning spent plant medicines back to the soil. It's a continuous act of respect for that relationship you've built.
It's a whole different way of thinking about it.
It is. And the source offers some fascinating specific insights into different plants and their uses. Really brings this knowledge to life.
Like cedar, you mentioned that earlier.
Yeah, cedar.
Yeah.
Described as a very strong medicine, used ceremonially in lodges, those traditional structures, and for smudging.
That's the practice of burning sacred herbs for cleansing, right?
Exactly. It's used to help with grieving, trauma healing, through cedar baths.
Wow.
And even the buds are used to ward off negativity, colds.
What about tamarack?
Tamarac's inner bark is used for apparently healing the spine and addressing addictions. And the tree itself is said to protect lodges.
And birch sounds incredibly versatile.
Oh, very. Used for making tools baskets, scrolls, it's a great fire starter. And then there's that remarkable story about the fungus that grows on it.
The one called Nana Bush's scab.
That's the one. Used for cancer and liver detox, according to the source.
Maple, too, mentioned as deeply sacred.
Yeah, often tied to cherished childhood memories like maple sugar time. The sap itself is seen as sacred, healing water, detoxifying.
Poplar as well, very sacred.
Used in ceremonies, leaning against it as a tree of life for support. And the black poplar buds are used in salves, even for toothache pain.
Sumac. That's called the thunderbird's tree.
The red berries are used for diabetes. And it's considered a woman's medicine for flushing after a miscarriage.
Evergreens like balsam and spruce. They sound practical.
They are, keeping bugs away, making floor beds for hunters or people fasting, but also medicine kidney and bladder medicine.
And the gum is a puller. What does that mean?
It means it can help draw out infections or splinters, things like that. Very useful.
Tobacco holds a central place, doesn't it?
Absolutely. Given to lead the way, it says, when asking for help or giving thanks.
So it's used for connecting, communicating.
And tied directly back to that core teaching of reciprocity. You're taking life, so you put something back. Tobacco is often that offering.
What about red willow?
The bark is used in natural tobacco mixtures, and boiling the sticks helps with eczema, skin problems. There's even an anecdote about it strengthening weak legs.
Cow parsnip or grandfather root. That's used as a base.
Yeah, the conductor in many medicine mixtures. But there's a crucial caution there.
Right, about not mistaking it for poisonous giant hogweed. You have to know your plants.
Definitely. And there's that other fascinating insight about plants resembling human organs.
Oh, yeah. Like strawberry looking like a heart, mullein-like lungs.
And this is seen as the plants themselves showing where they're meant to go to heal the body.
That's incredible. Even dandelion, which most people see as just a weed.
Presented as a very powerful medicine, mentioned for cancer and diabetes.
And callus root, another strong swamp medicine.
Used for warding off sickness and by singers for their voice. But again, a caution for pregnant women. It's potent.
Labrador tea, joint grass, nettles are also mentioned quickly for things like building blood, burns, anemia.
Right. And alongside knowing your plants and picking them in clean places, there are those specific warnings about certain strong medicines for pregnant women, risk of inducing labor or miscarriage.
It underscores the need for deep knowledge and care.
Absolutely. And maybe one of the most powerful teachings highlighted, it's repeated in the source, you are not the healer.
What does that mean exactly?
It emphasizes that the person needing healing is the one doing the actual work of healing themselves. The knowledge giver, the elder.
They just provide the direction and access to the medicines.
Exactly. They facilitate the journey, but the healing comes from within the person in connection with the medicine and spirit.
Okay, moving beyond just the plants then. The elder shares a teaching about truth.
Mm-hmm. And the deep loss of kindness and sharing due to, well, the historical trauma inflicted on Indigenous people.
It uses really powerful symbolism here, doesn't it?
Yeah.
To explain what was lost and what remains.
Yeah. Kindness is likened to braided sweetgrass, which doesn't burn out when smudged, representing its resilience.
And sharing is like deer hide. The deer gives its life so people can eat. The ultimate act of sharing.
And after hundreds of years of enduring immense hardship, trauma, what remains?
The rock and the spirit.
Which isn't about loss, it's about inherent resiliency, unbreakable strength. The message is both, well, somber and incredibly powerful. We're still here.
That resilience then leads into a broader call to action, extending to everyone.
Yeah, the idea returns that all people depend on the earth. We must work together in a good way to ensure her health.
While acknowledging that, hardness and racism sadly still exist.
Definitely acknowledges that. But the source also expresses a sense of hope, a feeling that a shift is happening.
But more work is needed, much more work for real change.
Mm-hmm. And the final emphasis from the elder is on the importance of becoming closer to the spirit, deepening spirituality.
Actively seeking that profound connection with the land, with all of creation.
Because that sense of communication, that kinship, it's still available to us. We just need to maybe relearn how to listen.
So this deep dive into the source material from Elder Edna Manitowabi, it's offered us a truly profound perspective, hasn't it?
It really has. On our place within the natural world, one rooted in deep connection, respect for all life, continuous reciprocity.
And finding strength and healing not just from nature, but as part of nature.
Recognizing the inherent life and purpose in everything around us, even the things we usually overlook.
It really challenges you, listening to this, to see the world with different eyes, to reconsider your own relationship and responsibility within it.
Definitely. So maybe a thought for you to consider. How can you begin to apply these principles, connection, respect, reciprocity in your own life, in your own relationship with the world around you?
Recognizing the life and purpose in everything.
Mm-hmm. Think about that idea of the earth as a living being, the celestial kinship of Grandmother Moon and her daughter Earth.
And our shared responsibility as children of this creation.
To actively participate in her care and her healing. It's a powerful shift in perspective to consider.